Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. If she knows what to do, why is she still overweight? What should you focus on when you begin to feel ill? Or maybe you've already been ill for a while. What is it that you can do to speed your recovery? And what is it you need to know to be able to crisis-proof your career moving forward? These are just some of the questions that we're going to be covering today, and they all have the same foundational screw-up. Duh, 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 duh. You know, whenever I teach students to become certified hypnotist, I'll always make those little sound effects right before they're ready to learn something that can rapidly improve their client's success and quality of life. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to be able to have those sound effects follow me around to give me insight in my own life? So I'm going to give you a suggestion on how to do that in just a moment. But what is the challenge with all of these? The challenge is that we've all been taught how to solve problems. We've not been taught how to design a life, which means we get promoted from one grade to the next and promotions in business from one level to the next based on painful problems from the past and moving them into solutions for right now. But we're never taught how to design our lives, how to bring ourselves out at our very best and use our brilliance. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Dun, 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 dun. So this is for you if you're really fed up with just trying to make things better in incremental improvements instead of moving forward faster. By the way, if you want me to be able to address a question you might have, you can email them to me, dawn@drewdawnferguson.com. I think it might even be scrolling down at the bottom. And I'll answer them on next week's broadcast. I do these typically on Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays, depending on my client and teaching load, and you can ask. It'll be completely confidential. Okay, so I want you to begin to think about, as I am giving these suggestions, these solutions, what would your life be like if you would start designing it the way you want? I am not talking about, putting together a pretty vision board and writing down some goals and chanting affirmations, because behavioral science has shown all of those have limited results. I'm talking about what it is that makes you unique and brilliant and being able to showcase that in every area of your life. What would that look like? What would that begin to feel like? But more importantly, what results would you start getting immediately because you're bringing yourself out at your best? Okay. Why listen to me? Don't. How's that? Test it. That's what you should be doing, because we have too many people that have listened and they've learned, but they've not implemented. You need to test. And when you test something, know that it's going to take 72 hours before you're going to begin to let go of those old ways of doing things and start moving into progress. So for 72 hours after you start doing something new, it's going to be, hey, I got a grip on this. Oh, no, I don't. So know that it's going to be ups and downs. Day 4, it starts to begin to even out, but it's going to take 21 days of consistent implementation before you experience what's known as emotional optimization, that your subconscious mind, which runs all of your habits and patterns, and failure or success are just habits and patterns. Well, it takes 21 days before your subconscious mind goes, oh, this is how you're wanting to feel. This is what you're wanting to experience. So you've got to take the first 72 hours of letting go of things, and then the first 3 weeks of beginning to figure out how it brings you out at your very best. So don't listen to me. I'm a certified hypnotist. I'm a certification instructor. I train others to do this. I'm a rapid results coach. You don't give a rat's ass about the initials behind my name. You want to know how to start living the life by your design, not what you've been programmed and told to do. But to be able to experience that, you've got to test it. Okay. Why do I want you to have this? Because when you're living your life by your design, you're now stepping into, on the 7 pieces of power and potential, you're stepping into the very peak, which is living a life through contribution. You're modeling what it is others want to experience, because your words have a bigger impact. Your actions have a bigger impact than your words. So now you're leading, but it's not leadership through power of, oh, I need to have followers. It's leadership by living your legacy of training others that, oh my gosh, if I can do it, you can do it. All right. So our questions. If she knows what to do, why is she still overweight? What should you focus on when you begin to feel ill, and how to crisis-proof your career? By the way, if you have any questions or comments because you've joined me live, go ahead, post them. Know, though, that you need to give StreamYard permission for me to be able to see who's posting it. And for those who do post questions or comments as far as, oh my gosh, yeah, this is really working for me well, then you get put in a drawing at the end of the month. I hand out some really great gifts to be able to move you forward fast. And if you're picking this up on our YouTube channel or our podcast is Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire. You need to follow me on Facebook, Ferguson and Associates, to be able to get access to those goodies that I give away at the end of the month by joining me live and doing the comments. All right. She knows what to do. Why is she still overweight? That's the problem. She knows it. It is not part of her identity. And because I know a little bit of insight behind the person who asked this question, she is focused on what she has to let go of instead of what she's gaining. Because she doesn't want to gain any more weight. She wants to release it. So she's focusing on letting go of the foods that she enjoys, letting go of the eating habits and patterns that have served her up to this point. Everything we do is to get an emotional need met. Okay. And there's 4 emotional needs. There's certainty, there's variety, there's worthiness, and there's validation. So she is experiencing dysfunction in one of these areas, or maybe multiple areas. And so she's eating her emotions. She's eating to suppress them and repress them. But she's not using her motivators. Motivators are status, control, freedom, relationships, and the truth about herself. So she's only focused on letting things go, not what she's going to gain in status, what she's going to gain in control, in that independence, how her relationships are going to improve, especially with herself, by bringing herself out at her very best. So she only knows how to get her emotional needs met in a very dysfunctional way by suppressing and repressing them, utilizing food. And she is not activating her motivators to actually bring herself out at her very best. This goes back to what I said at the very beginning, that we are conditioned to solve problems, not design a life. And when your very powerful mind, the part of your mind known as your subconscious, is focused on problem solving, you can solve one problem, such as, oh, these foods aren't good for me, and you let them go. And then the subconscious goes, well, I cannot tolerate a void. I cannot have a blank place. You're not telling me what to fill this with by using one of my motivators. So, and again, those motivators are status, control, freedom, relationships, especially with yourself, and the truth about you. So I've let go of this food that isn't good for me, but I'm not replacing it with something that I do want to experience. So now I've got to create another problem to fill that void. Designing a life says you have to take your wound into wealth, which means you're overeating and you're overweight for a reason. That reason is going to be there, whether it is a painful past or it's a progress of turning your dreams into reality. Once you discover that reason, then you can use those parts of you to actually begin to move you forward and start implementing on what you know. And my business, it's one of the areas that I specialize in as a hypnotist. It's known as parts therapy for inner conflict resolution. You've got one part going, no, we need to eat our emotions. That's how we've solved problems in the past. And you have another part that says, no, we want the status of people looking at us because we're healthy, not because we're overweight. We want the control of being able to enjoy certain foods, not what we have to let go of, but we have self-discipline. We want the freedom of choices. We want that loving relationship with ourselves by using our painful past to bring ourselves out at our very best. So you've got these two parts that are battling against each other. The oldest one wins until you give it new directions on what it needs to experience. See, when we think about our painful past, we see it through the perception of everything is dark. But you've got a younger you that is full of energy, that is full of enthusiasm, of joy. Think about little kids and their zest and love for life. You've got that part of you, but it continues to show up as a child who had to try to overcompensate to make others feel okay and grew up way too fast. That younger part of you is still trying to do that in today's world. We need to give it permission to be the child that it was always meant to be. And that the part of you, what we call the inner advisor, for it to come out in a way that is going to bring you out at your very best. This is the reason why I give you access to free hypnosis audios. Go to drewdawnferguson.com and you're going to see the free hypnosis audio I have for you right now. Okay, so you have to go from knowing into doing by activating you as a whole, not just one side of you based on your painful past. You need to release it from acting that way, and then you need to bring in its replacement of you at your very best. Okay, so what should you focus on when you begin to feel ill? In today's world, they're saying right now, 1 out of every 5 people knows somebody who's affected by COVID. I happen to actually know 3, 2 very close friends, and then their relatives. So I guess you could actually say I know of 4 in my very close circle right now. And as soon as one of them at the very beginning of this month was in the emergency room getting a diagnosis, she's texting me, what do I do? You have to have forward focus. So pick something that you want to experience in the next 30 to 90 days. It could be a vacation. It could be a project around the house, something that you want to remodel or something you want to purchase. You need to start focusing on what it is you want to experience. But that's not enough. That is where most guided imagery and visualizations go completely wrong on achieving your goals, because they get you so involved in what it is that you want to experience in the future. The subconscious thinks that it already has it. So there's no need to act on it. Yeah. Can you see a challenge now? So what you need to do is you need to focus on what it is you want to experience no more than 90 days out. And it's got to be something big that will pull you forward. But then you need to see yourself taking the steps for it to happen. So could it be, if you're wanting to go on vacation, that you're seeing yourself investigate a couple of different destinations, and maybe requesting the materials to get mailed to you, as far as the different guidebooks, and talking to different people. What are the outfits that you're going to want to pack? Maybe the outfits that you need to purchase. So see yourself taking the steps, putting down the deposit on the great cabin you found in the mountains, or what couches are you going to use now that you've painted the living room? What couches do you want to purchase to put in there? And so see yourself with the end result, and then get yourself invested in the emotional states of implementation with your focus. See, what this does, and it's been scientifically proven, it is activating the parts of you that take strength and focus to turn that dream into a reality. But once you've activated those parts of you around strength and focus, well, your powerful mind doesn't just limit to what you want to experience, it turns it on for all areas. So now it's turning on your strength to be able to move through those symptoms rapidly. It's turning on your focus as far as what do you need to do to get healthy or healthier as quick as possible. And then one final thing I'd like to add into that is that humor. Okay, bring in as much humor as possible. I like to go to YouTube and watch the videos of my favorite comedians, maybe several times a day. So you've got the future that's pulling you forward with strength and focus. You've turned on humor, which lightens you up, because emotional states can literally be weighed in your body. And when you're in a down, situationally sad state, okay, everything's collapsing in on itself. Well, the things that weigh heavy on your body, like illness and disease, are going to gain a greater foothold. Okay, so we've got focusing on pulling you forward and activating your strength, humor, and then the other thing I would say is watch movies that are inspiring and uplifting. Faith-based. Now, when I say faith-based, I don't necessarily mean religion. I mean something that is going to inspire you and lift you up to a higher level, where the underdog conquers all. Why is that? Because the subconscious pays more attention to images that have emotional impact to them. And so you want to be activating the images of being able to overcome. So, last question. How to crisis-proof your career. This is a presentation I'm actually giving to a group of other hypnotists next week, virtually, on what they need to do to crisis-proof their career. And I'm going to be going into it more deeply in that presentation. If you want to join us, send me an email Dawn at drewdawnferguson.com, because that group is open up to the general public to join us. So it's a group of hypnotists. We get together every single month. We discuss ways that we can bring about quicker, faster, easier results for our clients. And you may actually be able to learn some mind hacks to be able to move you forward faster. But what I'm going to touch on how to crisis-proof your career and moving forward is whether it is a full-time business or maybe it's your side hustle, you need to be in something that is service-based, to where you are the one to assist others. You're not having to rely on someone else to give you a paycheck. So number one, it needs to be service-based. Number two, it needs to be something where you're not present to be able to deliver the content. So, for example, I'm doing this live today. If you've joined me, thank you. I appreciate it. But maybe you're catching it on our YouTube channel. Maybe you're catching the replay on our podcast. Maybe it's our blog where we have a list of all these various classes and workshops that we've given you to be able to achieve rapid results. So I do the work once, but I don't have to show up every single time to be able to deliver it. You need to be able to do something like that. I know a woman who makes beautiful quilts. I know of another woman that is very involved in cosplay and the different conventions they have and putting together their costumes. I know someone else who's a singer. These are all things that you could be doing that you're passionate about. I happen to be passionate about breaking people out of their painful past and then helping them design and live the life of their dreams, turning it into reality. And I turned that into my business. But it was my hobby before it became my full-time business. So what is something that you're passionate about that you could teach others that is service-based because it's going to improve the quality of their life? And you want to look at just in case and just in time. Just in case is where somebody has a backlog of something to where if they run out of it, they know that they're covered. And then there's just in time. And just in time is when, oh my gosh, I need it now. What is it that I can do? You want to have both in your business. So just in case, let's say that maybe you make beautiful quilts and you're teaching others to do it, but you let them know that if they need some extra materials, or if they have something that is going to take them too long to do, you're there to assist them. Just in time is maybe they find out with the quilting that they're not going to be finished with the baby shower gift that they want to be able to give. And that's okay. They can go to you and purchase one right away. Your career needs to have both, because there are going to be times when people feel good and they're going to want to try to do things on their own. And then there are times when people are going to go, the pressure is too much and I need assistance. And so having both of those in your business, your service-based business, whatever you're teaching people to do, having both is going to make sure that no matter what's going on in our situation, in our circumstances, in our condition, your business will continue to thrive. Okay, as I begin to wrap things up, I want you to keep this in mind. Never underestimate your powerful mind and its ability to feel good just because it knows something. That's what you were conditioned and trained to do from a little kid. That's how you passed from one grade to another. If you were in corporate, that's how you actually got raises, is because you looked really good as far as what you knew. But that is never going to turn your dreams into reality. You actually have to move from knowledge into wisdom where you're implementing. Once you start implementing something, 72 hours and it's not going to feel good. 21 days before you feel like you really have a handle on it. 91 days before it becomes your identity. And then the subconscious goes, oh, okay, great. This is how we were able to start designing our life. This is what we need to do to start designing the next area and turn those dreams into reality. Know that I am here to support you every piece of the way. And if you'd like to be featured, your question anonymously featured on next week's Ask Me Anything for Your Success, then send it to me, dawn@drewdawnferguson.com, and make sure to claim your free hypnosis audio at drewdawnferguson.com. So until we get together again, blessings on your brilliance and how you're going to use it to make the world for all of us a better place.